Hello everyone. I am creating this video to help you out with this upcoming assignment. Okay, so basically you have to create 2 pages with these requirements. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, what I recommend is that you start off downloading the files from the link on the bottom of the page right here, because this gives you the code so you don't have to type it all up. So when you download that, you will have a file that has examples. So you double click that, and we are on chapter 5. So double click chapter 5. And then here is all the code that's in the book. So you don't have to type it all up. So let's go ahead and start with the very first item. We want to create a web page with a heading 1. So if you open up Notepad++, let's go ahead and start a new file, File New, and let's go ahead and save it first. And we're going to save it as, and I'll put it in my documents, we're going to save it as lab5.html. And always remember to make sure that this says all types. Okay, and go ahead and hit save. Now we need a heading 1. Now we all know that we can start, from scratch, HTML, head, and then close the head, and then open body, then close body, and then close HTML. That's the basic shell of any web page. And any content that you want to see on the web page is going to be inside the body. So if we want a heading 1, we're going to do H1 and then put title and then close the H1. Okay, so if I were to go ahead and save that and then open that page, I saved it in Documents. I open that page in the browser, it just has title. Okay. Well, if you look at the assignment, yes, we have a heading 1, and it needs to be the title of a movie. So let's type in The Shining. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that, and then refresh it on the browser, and now it says The Shining. Okay. What's the next requirement on the assignment? Okay, it's a title of a movie. Now we need a shadow. Okay, how do we do a shadow on this text? Well, you would go into the resources from the book, and we are on chapter 5, so this is figure 5. And if you go in the book, which figure is about making a shadow? Well, it's on page 143. And the figure is 5.1. So we double click 5.1 and we can double click text shadow. And there's a web page with a shadow. Now you can actually right click on any web page and click view page source, and it will show you the source of that page. We already have a heading 1 in our body. So what we want is the style tags with heading 1 that has a shadow, and it also has font size, and that's okay. You can add anything in addition to what you need. Now notice that it's in the head. The style tags are in the head, so any CSS you have, it has to be in the head, at least for internal CSS. Okay, so we went ahead and saved that, or we just put it in our document with our H1, hit save. We go to our lab 5 HTML and then refresh that, and now we have a shadow. Great. Okay, so let's go back to the assignment. And if you look here, you must not use white, gray, or black anywhere. So we copied the code over, but it's gray. We don't want gray. So let's do another color. So I just did red. You save it and then refresh it in the browser, and now we have a red shadow. But the text is actually black, and we don't want black text. So let's go back into our code. And this is another CSS that we've already done, color. So if you want the font color to be a different color, let's say I want it pink. You type in pink, you hit save, and then you refresh. And now it's pink with a red shadow. Okay, so what else is in this assignment? Well, we need a text stroke of 1 pixel. Well, where is the code for doing a stroke? Now, if you look in the textbook, the title isn't there, but you can see text in, oh yeah, the title is there on page 153. 5.8 is about text stroke. And if you look at figure 5.7, it has the code to do it. So let's go ahead and go to 5.7. And then we'll look at that text stroke. And you see how there's a black outline of the text. Well, how did they do that? I'm going to go ahead and close the text shadow because we're done. And let's right click and view page source so we could see how you do a stroke. Well, here's the line right here. It says stroke. So you can just copy this one line. Notice it's still in the H1 CSS. It's still in the style tags, and it's still inside the head. So we just need to copy that with the other styles for heading 1. So we make space for it, we paste it, we save and refresh. And now we have a stroke around your text. Well, it's black, so we need to change that color. How do we change that color? Well, here's black here. So you can just, let's say you want it yellow. Let's go ahead and save and then refresh. And now it's yellow. Pink text, yellow stroke, and a red shadow. Okay, what else in the assignment? So, but we need a text stroke of 1 pixel. So let's make sure our code says that. Actually, it says 2. So we want to change that to 1. Save, and then refresh. And now it's not so thick. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next part of the assignment. So the next part says you want a box and it needs a description of a movie. Okay, so how do we create boxes? Where in the textbook does it say how to create a box? So it actually starts on page 146. 5.5 says box shadows. Okay, so the code, underneath the code, it says that it's figure 5.3. So we go back to chapter 5, 5.3. It has a box shadow. If you double click that, you see that there's 2 boxes, and that's actually what we need. We need a box with this stuff and a second box with that stuff. So how do you look at the code here? Well, you right click, view page source, and now we have the code. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the text stroke information. And here's your box shadow. Notice that this is all that's in the body. It's just 2 divs, and then you have all this code for div, a box 2, and H2. So they're using H2 in this first box, and then the second box is identified as box 2 because it has a little bit different requirements than the original box. So Same as we did before, you can just copy all of this. We already have style tags in our HTML file, so we just need this new CSS, and we're going to have to come back and get these divs to make the boxes. So you just copy that, you put it in the style tags, just like we've been doing, make some space, you paste, and now we have a div, box2, and h2. Okay, now we also need the 2 boxes in the body tags. So let's go ahead and copy that. And then paste it inside the body. So div, that's 1 box, div with box 2 is a second box. So let's go ahead and save and then refresh our page. And now we have 2 boxes. So basically that's pretty much all that we're really doing in the assignment. You know, we're copying what we have in the textbook, and then we're putting it together to create something and then making some changes. Again, here's dim gray. We don't want gray. So you can use blue, you can use red, it's up to you. But the next part of the assignment is actually using a gradient, or at least part of it down here. So that's pretty much all you really have to do for this assignment. You're copying the code because I don't want you to reinvent the wheel. Just copy what's already there and then make your changes. The thing is that you have to find where those changes need to be made. It's not only just red and, you know, the size or the width. So that's pretty much it. I hope that really helps out.